afternoon. We have been doing much training lately for this one, the channel, the medium, teaching her to empty the mind of thought, to be completely present. And this has resulted in much greater clarity in the readings and many insights which we have been able to pass along to her. And the lessons in this teaching for her are quite applicable to you, sir, now, for you have nothing but time to think and to think and to think. And we wish to tell you that it is your thoughts that are dragging you down, like water going down a drain, spiraling down and down. And yes, we understand that you wish to go home. We understand that you wish to leave this earthly home, your earthly vessel, to be free of the body and all of its challenges, to be free of the thoughts that bring you spiraling down. And we wish to tell you that you are quite aware that home is a state of awareness. There are many times that this one gives a reading and brings through spirits on the other side who have not advanced at all from their earthly thinking, for you take with you the consciousness that you develop here. And so we come today to give you tools, a bit of guidance, a great bit of love, to help you to raise your consciousness so that when you do cross, and knowing that that timing will be with perfect timing, you will arrive with no need for adjustment of the thoughts. For you do not get to the other side and immediately feel angelic. This is an atmosphere that you create here. And we wish to tell you that your light burns so much brighter than most of your fellow human beings. You stand as a beacon amongst those around you. This is the Christ consciousness that you have developed throughout your life. But due to physical ailments and what to you would consider lack of purpose, your light has dimmed just a bit, but still we tell you it is far brighter than the vast majority of humans, for you have dedicated your life to raising that light not only in yourself, but in those around you. You, sir, are to be congratulated. And now we will share with you the analogy we were sharing with this one at a surface level whilst she did drive around on her way here and there, but delving into it so that it makes greater sense to you. And that is the analogy of a naval officer who goes through the process of rising through the ranks, always with one goal in mind, and that is to be the captain of a ship. And finally, that officer, through doing good deeds throughout his career, achieves that pinnacle of success. And yet it is only for a brief period of time during a long career that he gets to reap the rewards of all of that effort and to be the captain. And for some it would be an ego boost, for others it is merely the culmination of training, and it is a great honor. We wish you to liken this analogy to your life, that of an attorney, that of a minister, that of a teacher, that of an author, all of your life in service to others, and you did reach a pinnacle of sorts in multiple careers, and did you not then carry on teaching those in your community, for you cannot help but help others. The challenge comes when that captain of a ship sees that his time is up and he is left saying, what is left for me here? It is when so much is invested in a certain achievement and then that achievement is over. You can see that there is not room for all of the naval officers to remain captains of the ship. And that is analogous to life in human form. It is why the human body gives out after a certain length of time. For you become the captain of your ship, you have reached the pinnacle, you have learned about service, you have given to your fellow human beings, and hopefully in the process of doing so, you have learned a lot, you have raised your consciousness, and it is with perfection that the body runs down, so that then you can continue on your ministry, your soul's growth, in another state of awareness. You would call it heaven. And so for this reason we understand your angst, we understand your desire to move on now. You have reached your pinnacle, you have performed your service, you have raised your consciousness, and now you are impatient. But our message to you today is that your service never ends. Whether you are no longer at the helm of your ship, or whether you feel as if you no longer have anything to offer those around you, this is where the mind tends to go wrong. Whilst identified with the thought forms that form the story of your life, you come to think that you have nothing left to offer. But it is not your story which offers something to those around you. It is the very presence of your soul here in human form, with those who love you, with those with whom you communicate. As long as you are still breathing, you serve a purpose, and that is merely to be a presence of love, to be a presence of comfort to those around you. The touch of your hand, the glint in your eye, which has been lacking, a smile, a moment of sharing a memory with a beloved wife, a moment of expressing your love and gratitude and pride to children. All of this serves a purpose. We are quite aware that you are anxious to move on, but you do not control this. Only your God does. And we understand your impatience, but we come to tell you that it is the higher self that determines finally. The service here is over. But because you are still breathing, you have yet more love to give to those around you. And it may seem unfair, for you are tired. You have given a lot. Yes, you have given enough. But there is always more to give. So think not in terms of giving and taking. We wish you now to focus simply on being that beacon who you have always been, who you continue to be, or you would not breathe. This is a perfect time for you to practice what you and your other fellow teachers at the higher levels have been teaching, the stillness, the silence. There is impatience in one who has had such a laudable life as you, in teaching, in sharing, in writing, in being that mouthpiece for God, which you do so well. There is a bit of frustration when you no longer can get in your car and go out and perform your ministry. But now it is time to truly practice that presence, to truly practice being without thoughts. For now the mind races. The mind is filled with thoughts of frustration, filled with thoughts of not wanting to be here, filled with thoughts of moving on. And it is these exact thoughts which are causing your suffering. You are aware of this, and yet you have become trapped in the thoughts. And so we wish to issue to you a challenge to become satisfied with the fact that you cannot control your exit from this life, that the Lord your God understands when your final breath will occur. And until that time, you trust in that God. You trust in that process, and you trust that you are still here for a reason. And if your mobility has become limited, then you use that limited time for a spiritual retreat, to sit and to be the light, to listen very carefully to your thoughts, to do an intense study with curiosity and wonder. Why, this is why I have been feeling so down. Listen to my thoughts. They are filled with that word should. They are filled with regrets. They are filled with lower vibratory thoughts, which are causing my very depression. Is that not interesting? And what happens if I give no more power to those thoughts? What happens if I sit in complete stillness and say, you thoughts are making me miserable. I am no longer going to pay attention to you. What if I take these remaining breaths and my frustration and use it as a teaching tool to sit and to finally, without thought, perform an experiment? How clearly can I feel the presence of God within me without these pesky thoughts dragging me down? How clearly can I feel the I am within me? How much can I turn up my light without these thoughts? I wish my days, my final days, to be filled with light, since I cannot control my breaths. I wish to honor this life that I have had without focusing on the thoughts. How long can a man go without thoughts? And when the thoughts are not present, what is left? That is what so few human beings come to experience. We wish you to feel the excitement, the challenge of challenging yourself. If you no longer have the ability and the mobility to get out and share your wisdom and your insights with others, then perform an experiment here in loosening the thoughts, identifying the many shoulds undiscovered beneath your thoughts. I should be more productive. I should be out driving. I should not be a nuisance to those around me. All of these are merely thoughts that lead to suffering. How long can you go without a thought? You cannot go long without a breath, and that is the problem. You are still here breathing. This is the way the human mind thinks. But how long can you go without a thought? And as you practice this intense presence, you will come to know your Lord, your God, closer than you have ever known. You think you know him quite well, but you will come to know him intimately soon enough. You can have that acquaintance, that intimate relationship here and now, and that is the point. That is the point, because when you empty the mind of these pesky thoughts, like a pestilence that are infecting you now and dragging you down, when you get to that point where your light comes back on before you take your final breath, why then you will cross to your heavenly home at a very high state and say to those who welcome you, oh, what teaching I bring you now, for I learned it the hard way, sticking around because I had no choice but using that time for the greatest benefit. I bring you this wisdom, for there are lesser souls on the other side who you can teach. The teaching never ends, sir. For the soul and for those other souls you will come into contact with when you cross the veil. Think of your students waiting for you on the other side. What will you take with you? A story of the human ego that gives in to the challenges of the physical body and sits and wants nothing but to cease breathing? Or the soul that crosses and meets those young souls and says, once I was lost, but I was found before I took my final breath, and look what I have brought to you. The practice of presence changes everything, and it matters not whether you have 90 years in earthly life, or 9 years, or 900 years. At times it takes diseases of the body to bring one to this awakening. Awakening happens over and over and over. You have achieved quite a high level, but we wish you to go even higher. Your days here have not ended for a reason. You will take with you when you cross wisdom even beyond your years, and we are excited about this. Listen to our words as they sink into your heart. Your soul knows this. You do not control your exit. Your home is here and there. Home is a state of mind. What you do with it, that is the soul's task. We love you so very much. You have not failed at all. It is not a matter of pass-fail. It is a matter of what you do in the present moment. If you are not content in the present moment, there is learning to be had there. And this is why you are still here. You are so very loved. We will speak to you in the silence. We will help you to identify the thoughts at the root of your dis-ease. We are quite aware that you have taken on quite a challenge with this physical body, but you are not alone in that. See the wisdom in the fact that the body only lasts so long, but take advantage of every moment in this body. It is one of your greatest teachers. Again, we say, you are so very loved, and it is your very love that you share so willingly with others that allows your light to shine so brightly. We bid you good night.